Jeff McNeil, one of the Mets named to the All-Star roster. Jeff McNeil, everybody. Him, Starling Marte, Pete Alonso, and Edwin Diaz, the 4 Mets All-Stars. Diaz proved it last night. Struck out the side in the 9th. Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete. The guy is mammoth. Starling Marte, day-to-day, a little injured now, but he just brings it every day. That's the guy that you watch day in and day out. You love talking about these guys. The guys that you don't notice until you watch them day in and day out.
I like talking about Starling Marte's medium jersey that he wears.
I think he wears it a little snug so you can see how ripped he is.
He does. He wears a size too small for the effect.
Jeff McNeil.
That's my hot take.
One of those few guys in baseball that's a 300-plus hitter guaranteed. Like, he just has that swing, right?
Nowadays, that's a rarity,
right?
That's a rarity. That's
we're
a
not,
unicorn.
We're not living in the world of Wade Boggs and Tony Gwynn anymore. We're not living in the world of George Brett and all the sluggers in the 90s.
300 might as well be 400 nowadays. No, seriously.
Ken Griffey Jr.
That's impressive.
I'm not sorry. Frank Thomas. Those days are long gone of guys hitting 330.
Yeah, impressive.
But here's the discrepancy. Jeff McNeil, going into the series, is not in the lineup last night. It's like, man, the Mets are already shorthanded. Marte's out. McCann just hit the IL. What's going on? McNeil's on paternity leave. And I'm like, paternity leave? My first thought was, I'm a dad. I got 2 little kids. You want to be there for the birth of your kid. It's July. He's an all-star. He brings it every day. You know what? Go be with your wife. It's the right thing. Life takes precedence over this. A couple of my buddies were furious. Like, what a wimp. What a loser. How could this guy not be there?
But that's a fan being a fan.
Yeah, versus the Braves going into the All-Star break a week out. I have friends that are like, I'll never look at McNeil the same way. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I do something way less important as far as money. I'm not making the money he's making. I work in radio and television and broadcasting.
We get paid in meatballs.
When my wife had our kids, I was back to work like a day later, and because I didn't want to miss being there for the audience.
How many days
I'm not saying
is he
that's
out?
right.
I want to know how many games is he out. Just the
he's
series?
going to miss the series, but it's a big one. They said 3 to 4 days.
Oh, man. I kind of agree with your friends, I think.
I
don't want to be on the wrong side of this, but I hate this story. Because I expect my players to be there, man. I do. It's the big leagues, bro. Big series. You get paid lots of money. You let the fans down. The fans are what make you. That's how I feel about it. I get mad when yesterday was a Monday. I'm like, oh, the Yankees are off. I get mad about that.
You get mad at off days?
I get mad at all. I got to wait till today. So when there's a big series and one of your star players isn't in the lineup, I get it. He had a beautiful moment, but he couldn't get out there for the game.
Your thoughts?
I think that's family's more important.
There's no one debating that family is not more important.
But
I think you are right now.
You're debating it right now.
Yeah.
You're saying a game versus the Braves in
This
July.
is a magical moment.
Okay, he couldn't be there for an unmanageable 4 hours. He couldn't just dip out for 4 hours, 5 hours maybe.
His wife's in California. The Mets are playing.
That's bad planning.
The Mets are playing in Atlanta.
Sorry, bad planning then. He's a professional. Doesn't sound very pro to me. You plan those things out.
What is he supposed to do?
You know when the baseball season is.
Ship
He's supposed to put his wife in a van and be like, come to Atlanta.
When you're getting paid money like that, you can do whatever you
You're
want.
not supposed to travel after a certain amount, after a certain time.
I'm just saying I see the disappointment in your buddies. I'd be disappointed too.
I really want to hear from...
I think that people take advantage of this. I see coworkers. I look at it this way, and I hate to be blatant and rude, and I don't want to offend anybody in here. If your company's going to give you 3 weeks off or whatever it is nowadays, how many days is it?
Depends on the company. You go overseas, people take like months off.
I get it, and I get the importance, and that should be there.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do.
But if you could take that much time off, I'm sorry, you're not that important. That's the way I see it.
4 days.
If you could take off whatever your company allots, you got to get. If you're an important guy,
yes,
then you should be back as soon as you can. If it was the actual day of the birth.
They said he's leaving in preparation for the birth of his child. I saw an interview with McNeil on SNY.
No, he should have left his wife's going into labor, then he left.
I applaud this.
And McNeil, in an interview, was like, I'm an all, they asked him about being an all-star, and he's like, it's nice to know I could hang with the best, and I've been working a lot, and my heart's with this team, and I'm, he did this beautiful thing, and they're like, and a very special week for you, Jeff. And he's like, yeah, I was named an all-star. My wife's having a kid, and
it's beautiful. I get it.
But I would love to hear from people because you know what? This is a very polarizing thing because if you want to go old school
How
boomer.
can you not see both sides, though?
Hold on. If you want to go old school boomer mentality or if you want to go new school zennial, weenial as you call it mentality, maybe somewhere in the middle is the right answer. Like, I'll be honest.
He's a big leaguer, dude, with a lot of people counting on him, a lot of fans going there to see him making lots of money. I think he should be there for the birth of his child, obviously. That's a given.
They don't own him.
They pay him.
But he's entitled
a lot of money.
Entitled to benefits and legally paternity leave is on that
Lots of kids go there and they spend lots of money. Families spend lots of money to buy tickets to see this all-star play. Okay. You guys roll your eyes. I'm just saying there's two sides to the
story. It's not like you're going to see the Music Man and Hugh Jackman's out for a few days.
Oh, that would be a travesty.
That would be a travesty. You're still seeing a game.
Yeah. And by the way, if this matters at all, Guillorme, who filled in for McNeil, hit a home run last night and got 3 hits.
That's
a
silver lining.
Does that soften the blow a little bit?
It does. And let me make my point clear. Every dad should be there for the birth of his child.
Yeah, but
that's not my debate.
They're 3,000 miles away.
I'm saying to continue to miss days.
He's from California.
4 days.
The Mets are on a road trip in Atlanta.
His wife at this point should be like, honey, hit a home run for me.
What is it, Kramer in the
then
hospital with a sick kid?
Yeah, man, this is a big reason. Dude, this guy's living the dream. If you're taking off from your job, I get it. Like, your job's not as important. Like, this guy's living the dream. He's a big leaguer. He's an all-star at that.
So, out of 162 games,
I'm just saying I
see
both
4
sides.
Days.
It's July.
For the birth of his child.
He just built it up as a very big series.
Ahead of the All-Star break.
You don't want to ever look back and be down a few games. All the games count. It doesn't matter when they are.
But I look at it this way, though. My stance with my buddies was that they're a bunch of meatheads.
It sounds like they were very aggressive.
They're a bunch of meatheads. I'm like, and by the way, all my buddies that are arguing this all have kids. I'm like, were you at the birth of your children? You were, because that's called being a normal human being and prioritizing correct. Now,
in 20 years, what's going to matter more?
Yeah, in 20 years, not 20 years.
I'm sorry, in 10 years.
No, what if in like 2 years, if he doesn't deliver, and the Mets are like, all right, we release you?
Yeah, what's going to matter more?
What's going to matter?
That was
more?
A question. It wasn't rhetorical.
Look, I grew up, of course, family first, but you can't act like your job doesn't matter either. You can't feed your family without your job.
Yeah, but you got to prioritize, and I think that my only exception to this was playoffs. If this were the playoffs, and it was October, playoffs, and my Mets are playing Jason's Dodgers, and it's like a crucial game 5 or game 7, and they're like, oh yeah, Pete Alonso's girl's pregnant, they're having a baby. Pete's not going to be there. What? It's the National League Championship. That's different. The stakes.
Let me ask you this.
You got to analyze everything. The stakes.
Okay.
I mean,
then you just went off on how great Max Scherzer was. Let's say it was Max Scherzer in the series. Hey, he had to go. He had a responsibility.
I mean,
he's just being a dad.
I know it's
you would be so let down.
I know it's different, but didn't Sandy Koufax religion? Like there have been players that didn't play on holidays and for religious reasons. Yom Kippur. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Look, I get all that. Like I said, and I get it. If it was the day of the birth.
Do you think his teammates look at him differently? Or you think they're all like, yeah, this is just baseball?
No.
Because you know what? Yesterday, as predicted, I said this.
I said the fans.
I said this the other
day. I feel like
day.
the fans get so passionate, as the proof in your group text.
I think I said this the other day, and I think you and Danny G, our Sunday night producer, I think you guys both laughed at me a little bit and thought I was joking when I said Robbie Cano got signed, and he's going to play against the Mets. He was activated day one, got on base a couple times last night. Robbie Cano, and all these guys, even the Mets.
Was he wearing his SpongeBob jersey?
No, but you know what he was wearing?
No,
he was wearing,
Robbie.
He was using a blue and orange baseball glove with 24 on it, and he's wearing number 22 on the Braves. He was using his Mets glove. And all the guys on the Mets were...
You know, that's the old story about Bill Buckner, right? He was rocking his Cubs, batting glove underneath the
miss,
the Red Sox mitt.
Well, anyway, all these guys were bro hugging, like, good to see you, Robbie Cano, no hard feelings. We forget sometimes, while they are competitive, not everyone's Max Scherzer pacing the mound like a pit bull. You're
right. It's just baseball. I get it.
It's just baseball, and yes, they want to win. I get it. But a July game birth of your kid.
I don't like that July game because when it comes down to making the playoffs and everything else, every game matters. Oh, man, they're 2 games out. It's always down to the wire.
You know what it's like?
You don't ever want to look back and say, oh, yeah, those 2 games you lost because McNeil wasn't there.
You know what it's like? It's like...
then the rest of the team should be ashamed.
It's like when you make a mistake, when you make an error, and your team still wins. This could be stupid Sunday softball. If you perform poorly and your team still wins, you feel like, oh, I'm off the hook.
Right.
If the Mets win this series, still 2 out of 3 versus the Braves, and McNeil comes back to play the Cubbies right before the All-Star break, I think everyone's going to even forget this was a story. I just wonder from a fan perspective, paternity leaving sports. Do we treat it like corporate America where, I'm amazed. Jason, I know you're a little old school too. There were guys at SiriusXM when we were doing our show there also, where guys, and I mean, listen, not sound sexist, women, I get it because they're delivering the baby. They're a mother. There's
a physical recovery.
There's a physical recovery involved. But there were guys that took months off, and legally and professionally they could. But I can't be honest with you and say I didn't think a little different of them. Like that guy
I completely admit that I do.
That guy dipped away for 2 months.
Even like if it's subconscious, I do. Even if it's just a little bit, I absolutely do. It's like, how do you not feel the responsibility? It's just work. You're going to come back home.
But Spot's right though when he's like, yeah, but it's just work. It's like the birth of your kid versus a Tuesday night game Monday night game in Atlanta.
It's not just a job, dude. He's not just checking in at the office.
It is different than just a job, but still.
I think there's a cutoff point here, guys. If you were born, say, after 1985, I think you think differently about this stuff.
I agree. I think that's a great point.
If you're of our generation, I think you hold it a little against a person. They're completely by law and by corporation able to do it, but you just hold it a little against them. It's not a big deal.
And listen, I'm not going to judge anyone. Well, I am going to judge them, but I'm not going to be rude about it.
And let me tell you, you can care all you want about how it's going to affect your company. Let me tell you, your company does not care about you that way.
Yeah, but again,
they don't care about you.
They don't care about you.
Talking about this specific,
given the opportunity, they'll cast you aside.
No, you're right.
So don't feel like you owe them anything.
Most people are replaceable.
Nor do you owe the fans anything because you know what? You
But
get one
you
bad
do.
streak, they're burning your jerseys in the street.
You're the first guy to say that.
You're
the
going
first
to compare.
guy.
You're going to compare the fantasy. This guy's living every child's fantasy. You're going to compare that to some dude checking into his Monday 9 to 5. It's not even in the same ballpark. Pun intended.
This guy goes.
How is that even the same?
This guy goes 0 for 4. The fans are booing him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad I missed my kid's birth for this."
Exactly.
So, your thoughts at 877-99 on Fox.
He's also getting paid millions of dollars, bro.
Yeah.
Big
And
difference.
Doesn't mean anything.
We'll take all your feedback next.
Talking about Rich's boy McNeil, who is a professional, but could have done a better job planning it out. It's not like you don't know when the baseball season is. It's not like you don't make enough money to take a private jet to wherever you need to be on call. Like, there's other ways to look at this, man. And I agree with Jason, dude. It's sort of generational. It's not about right or wrong. And by all means, I want to hear your opinions when it comes to paternity leave.
That's the thing. There is no
missing big games.
There is no wrong opinion on this
But I do think it is generational.
Of
I
course.
really do.
It is. If you're old school paternity leave, well, what type of wimp are you? New school people will be like, hey, listen, I work for a corporation, and if I could get days off, I'm going to take them. It's a very age-determining question.
But again, that little impression you did right there, I imagine that's a guy who doesn't really care that much about his job because he feels my job really doesn't care about me. It's just a job. When you're playing professional sports, again, living the dream, you're like cherry-picked. Like you were the winner in life. And you're getting paid millions of dollars to do that. It's not the same. That's what I'm trying to express here.
My wife pointed out, because I asked her, I go, hey, babe, what do you think about McNeil missing this? She goes, well, it stinks, but she goes, you can't necessarily plan out when you're going to have a baby. Yeah, families try to plan, but I mean, look at how many people struggle to have a kid, or you don't know his story. You don't know the McNeil family story.
And I'm not judging. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. McNeil missed a big series against the Braves.
And luckily so far, the Mets won Game 1, and his replacement, Guillorme.
O'Neal would have never did that. The Warrior, Paul O'Neal, real champion. I'm a Yankees fan. I could say that if I want.
The guy had a terrible hairdo. What was that?
He went for the Ronald McDonald haircut, I think.
Yeah, he sat in the barber chair and said, can I have the Ronald McDonald?
He went into the barber chair, Paul O'Neal, and he said, give me the Fred Savage. 1986.
All right, let's go to Mo in Tempe. Mo, you're on with Covino and Rich. What's up, Mo?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Mo, your thoughts on paternity leave? Old school, new school? Like, do you think these athletes now should take the time or not?
Well, I got 4 children. I was there for the birth of all my children. I'm a plumber, so I do work 24 hours a day, but luckily it was planned, so I'm kind of on the fence with it. Like, if your job calls for it, now, here's the main thing. Is it your first kid? If it's your first kid, you got to be there. Because you never know if you never have a second kid or something happens to the kid, you weren't there, you never live it down.
Right.
This is, but for the record, this is Jeff McNeil's first kid.
Yeah, it's special. It's very special. I'm not denying that. I'm not as aggressive as your friends are either. Like, they were really, really mad about it.
Yeah, they're like hating on him.
But I
like,
do see
chill.
where it's coming from on both sides. And by the way, if you're joining our conversation, I just want to make it clear. I think we all agree that you should be there for the birth of your child. That's not what I was saying at all. But to take off multiple days in a big series. Any other thoughts there, man?
Well, it's not like it's if it's game 7 of the World Series, okay, and there's a difference. You know, if you're in the World Series at all, I'm sure even your wife would understand that. You've lived your whole life just for this one moment. But, yeah, I mean, it's a touchy subject. You know, it just depends on the communication you have with your wife and the family and whatnot. You know, like I said, planning is a big part of it.
You know what you don't realize also, Mo? Is his wife the greatest woman in the world, or is she a pain in the ass? And I say that respectfully. You don't know. Like, you don't know the dynamic. Think of the women you've dated in your life. Spot, you're rolling your eyes like there's no
I'm
difference.
trying to figure out where you're going with that.
No, I'm saying there's some women that are like overly understanding, like, baby, it's your dream and your career, go be at the game. And then there's other women that will be like, no, I don't care about your stupid career and your stupid team and your stupid game. You're going to be here for the birth of our child.
I mean, she did carry the child for 9 months. The least he could do is take off 4 days.
Yeah, and Kamino, you I think you forget.
I don't forget anything.
You know,
Don't put thoughts into my brain.
Well, you have a daughter.
Okay.
It's been 12 years. You have
Yes.
a 12-year-old daughter.
12-year-old pain in my ass.
12-year-old preteen that drives me insane.
Yeah.
You forget that, leading up to the birth, it's not like you had a scheduled delivery, as my wife did for our second kid. You don't know that all the time. So Jeff McNeil could be in the dugout and be like, all right, got to run, and go 3,000 miles on a flight, get to the airport. Like,
so he just picked these magical 4 days hoping it's going to happen?
The doctor said, I'm sure the doctor probably said, in the next couple of days, or we'll induce. Leading into the All-Star break, and they said, you know what might be the kid's first game? Dad at the All-Star game. Come on.
I could see both sides. It's a special moment. I get it.
Now, the NFL's different, and here I am talking out both sides of my mouth, because his 17 games now, the stakes are different.
Yeah,
I know you're saying every game matters, but 162.
It goes with my original point. You're not that important then. Because if it was your starting quarterback, are you so understanding? Are you that understanding then? No, if it's a special teams guy, you're like, yeah, whatever. I'm sure the team doesn't mind. It matters. Let me tell you, people that important don't take that much time off.
Now, let's take a few phone calls.
Yeah, let's get back to this paternity leave story.
Paternity
and wrap
leave.
It up.
Are you old school, new school? Do you think, hey, family first? Or do you say, hey, you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars to play baseball. Be at the game.
I think it's different in professional sports. Like, oh, it's just a game. And I'm sure his teammates understand and all. But when your significant other signs up to be with a professional athlete, I know this athlete has a responsibility to his family, but there's an understanding also involved. That, hey, I'm sort of committed to the team during this time. And that doesn't mean you're not there for the actual birth, guys. We're talking missing multiple days, though, at a time.
All right. Jason in Roanoke, Virginia. What's up, Jason?
Oh, my God, guys. You're killing me.
What's
this
up?
This has been the worst 30-minute drive home in my whole life talking about paternity leave.
Well, then your life has been pretty good.
Then your life.
Yes. Let it go. Let's talk about how Joey Chestnut eats hot dogs, dipping them in water.
We're doing that later.
Or what?
Oh, that's the hot top. That's the hot topic
Jesus
for hour
Christ.
3.
Yeah.
You're missing that.
I've been putting it on hold because it makes me hungry thinking about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually a little hungry. But yeah, let's change the subject. Let's talk about Butterbean
No.
fighting
Jason,
Jake
you changed
Paul.
the subject
how
on
about-
your own show.
Yeah,
How about
when you do the Jason show on the Bunk Sports Radio Network.
How about when you do the Jason show,
More
you
than
can talk about
likely,
whatever
that's
you want.
probably going to happen before you guys get back on.
I highly doubt that. You know, the meatballs they pay me, I would bet you
I
money.
do
that.
too, but it's not far. God, Doug, get back from Israel.
Do you want to bet on that?
wherever
Can we
you're
bet
at.
on that? What's
Jason,
the over-under
well, I
on
want
that?
to talk to Jason about paternity leave is when a woman actually wants to have sex with you and have a child, Jason. Maybe that will happen once in your life. And then when you have a child, there's an option to take time off of work.
Right.
That's
Okay,
that
it's a
was
great
pretty
discussion.
good.
Okay,
That was
okay,
pretty
good.
good.
All right, Jason, appreciate
you,
you,
buddy.
appreciate you listening, sort of. Not really.
He said, let's talk about Butterbean. What is he talking about? Turkeys or the fighter? What year is it, 1988?
Let's talk about Butterbean. No one else I want to talk about? All right, Rita in L.A., what's up?
Hey, Rita.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
We're good.
What up?
You don't have, honestly, you don't have to do much to outbeat Jason's phone call. What's up?
I mean, I'm gonna set the standard right now. First off, I'm a new listener to you guys. I listen to Odd Couple every day, but you guys are pretty awesome. So, first off, shout out to you guys. Second off, shout out to my boy Iowa Sam. Hopefully, you're feeling better, man. I don't want to hear you were sick all last week.
Oh,
Hopefully
thank you,
you're
man.
feeling better.
No, I'm doing a lot better here. Appreciate you.
On the topic, I'm new school, right? I'm 30. I'm part of the new generation of seeing these people who take time off, months off for paternity leave. That, to me, that's ridiculous because that's more on my plate. That's my own colleague letting me down. And what happens to his duties, that's on me. So if you're looking at it from a team aspect, what happens? He's letting his whole team down. Yes. But is it taking a lot of time off for a day or two? I get it. It's a crucial series. I'm a Mets fan in LA. But it's a crucial series, yes. But at the end of the day, he's with his family. He's with his wife. She's about to have a baby. Can we give the guy a break for once?
I agree. You know, for a guy that's batting 300 for our Mets season, by the way, how nice was the Keith Hernandez ceremony over the weekend?
Oh, that was awesome. Awesome.
All right, well, hey,
It's
Rita,
about time. How about that?
Rita,
You
you
should
know,
have honored that guy 20 years ago.
I like that call. That guy was nice. All right, Covino and Rich in for Gottlieb. Got to remind you also, Discover Card. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards, or we could talk about how Discover makes it easy. You redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. I mean, talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply. We got more Covino and Rich next.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox